The robins have returned to Minnesota. Flowers are blooming. The trees are getting green with new leaves and bursting with blossoms. It's spring in Minnesota, and naturally, our thoughts turn to road tearouts. It is street construction season here in Minnesota, and there are projects popping up all over. I'm at one here in a small town. It is a very small project, just one short block, but there's an 1860 house on one end, or two 1860 houses, and a real mix the rest of the block. Now, tearouts can be real hit or miss. Sometimes you can land on one and it's really good. You can detect it for weeks during the summer. I'm looking at you, Scuba Pony. And other times you hit a tearout and there's absolutely nothing there because they have removed too much original ground on a previous tearout. So we're going to see how this one looks. I'm hoping it's going to be pretty good because of the age of these two houses on the end here. So I will let you know when I find something good, so stay tuned.
Old as dirt.
Got an 8586 here. It's not the best sounding signal in the world, but not hearing any obvious iron. Oh, what's this? What is this here? No idea. Something electrical. No bueno. I've got an 8283. It's a little bit on the large size, so this, ouch, might just be a piece of can or something. Now, I cannot tell whether this ground is fill or original. So, much has to do with our success today might have a lot to do with that. Well, I have a coin. Ah, it is an Indian. It's an Indian head penny, and that tells me this ground is original. Oh, yes, baby. Oh, yeah. This is a 1904. Yeah, it's in pretty good shape, too. A lot of times when you do tearouts, the tars and acids and stuff from the asphalt seep down and really do a number on coins, but this one is in good shape. That makes me really happy. Well, now that I know that this is original ground, I am going to take my time here in the middle of the street. Often the middle of the street is the worst place to be because it's so compact and it may not be original. But that finding that Indian head has given me a lot of confidence in this tearout. So let's see what else we can find. This is a 63, 64, 65, a little bit squeaky. Also kind of toward the middle of the road here. Let's see what we got. Now that I've turned it over, it's a very solid 62, 63. Maybe it's a nickel. What do we have here? It does look old. Let me brush it off and get a closer look here. Now, I think this is a piece of a harmonica reed. Could be accordion. There's not enough of it to tell. But it appears to be zinc. And from what I understand, a zinc reed plate would indicate an earlier instrument, possibly 1860s. So if that is a correct identification, that again is another artifact that is consistent with the age of the houses right next to me. Now this might be iron. 85, 86 that way. I think I hear a thunk of iron underneath it though. Oh, that's coming out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and dig this, just in case I am wrong about that. Ouch. This street is diggable, but it's still hard. Well, this one unfortunately broke when I was getting it out of the hole, but it is a harmonica plate for sure. It's a pretty large one, actually. It does seem to be made out of brass and not zinc, but it's a heavy brass plate. So I don't know what that means in terms of age, but I'm thinking it's not new. So again, pulling an artifact out of this dirt. Any artifact makes me happy because it tells me there could be more. And here we have an 83, 82. Looks like it's going to be right under this rock here. I will dig 82s and 83s all day long. Of course, that is the Indian Head Penny range. Well, what is this? It is the size of a pocket watch. Now, it feels a little heavy, but it could be because it's in a concretion. That is really difficult to make a call on that with it covered up like that. Well, I think this is a pocket watch. I'm sort of seeing some features like it is, but I am going to take that home as is and run it through my electrolysis setup, see if I can't get more of that concretion off of there. It's probably not a great specimen, but it's nice to know for sure what this is. Well, this was indeed a pocket watch. Now, this spent almost 3 days in electrolysis, and this was the best that I could get it cleaned up. This concretion is all the way through the inner workings and plates of this watch, so it's just not going to get cleaned up. But the whole purpose of running it through the electrolysis was to get a positive ID. Mission accomplished on that, so moving on. This is a 63, 65. Starting to be a little bit in the embankment, so you don't know whether this is original or whether this was dirt that they brought in. It looks pretty good. All right, it's in here somewhere. It looks round. Nope, that's not it. Okay, it's not round. It looks like a curtain hook. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's what that is. It's got a little protective thing, it looks like, right here on this piece. Like maybe it was... Well, you know what? I'm not going to make a call on this. But if I had to guess, I would say curtain hook. Well, I'm getting a 96, 94, but there seems to be iron in there too, so I'm not going to get my hopes up that this might be silver. Let's find out. Now it's 81, 91. Nope. No, of course not. It's just a bolt with a round washer on it. Really faking out the detector. 75, 74. Very close to the surface. Could be more trash. Because this top layer is a very thin layer of gravel, which was obviously brought in later. Oh, but this is actually an artifact. This is a shotgun shell. And let's see. See if I can read the head stamp on it. Remington UMC. Something shot. So Remington UMC, I'm going to look up the date on that and let you know what the date range is. after that. Obviously, after they merged with Union Metallic Cartridge Company, and before they just started branding themselves as just Remington. So there is a date range, and I will look that up. That's an 82, 83 right there. And I'm right at the driveway of one of the 1860 houses. So maybe we've got an Indian here. No, what this looks like is maybe the little roller from a buckle. It's probably brass. Well, I had been using Gary Blackwell's Techno program, but I was getting so much EMI from the overhead power lines and noise canceling and fiddling with some of the sensitivity and other adjustments didn't help. So I have switched down to a tweaked version of Goldfield. This is giving me a 52, 53, up to 58. Well, this appears to be a little shell, a little 22 shell casing. Now this is giving me a 90, 88, 90, kind of in the copper penny range. Right there. And it is, looks like a copper penny. Yeah, it's a memorial. Squareback. So post 1959, before 1983. Looks like it says 74. For whatever that's worth. This is another 89.90. Could it be another memorial? Could be a Wheatie too at that range. And it's out. Oh, I see it. Oops. Yeah, it's another memorial. Wait, no, it's a clad dime, actually. Yeah, clad dime. This is a 58, 57. What do I always say about those 50s, huh? They could be small silver or a dollar gold coin. And a tearout, especially, I think they could be a coin. One of the more valuable, desirable coins, ringing up in the 50s. That is a chance, of course, but chances are it's just more junk. Well, this is something interesting. It looks to be a watch fob. Oh, this is good. This is great. Let me clean that off, and I will give you a close-up of that. Okay, how glad am I that I dug that 54 or whatever it was. This watch fob is a souvenir of the World Columbian Exposition in Chicago. 1893, I believe that says. 18... If memory serves, it was 1893. Oh my gosh, this is... I love this kind of find where you can put a date on it, obviously connected to a world event, the Exposition in Chicago. Now the backside says compliments of Keystone Watch Company. There's quite a bit of concretion on that side. I'm going to have to work to get that off if I'm even able to, but oh man, I am so pleased with this. This is the find of the day. The World's Columbian Exposition was an event held in Chicago in 1893 to commemorate the 400th anniversary of Columbus's arrival in the New World. Organizers wanted this event to eclipse the previous World Fair held in Paris a few years earlier. And I think they succeeded. built on more than 600 acres in the Jackson Park area. The buildings were designed in the neoclassical style of architecture. And you would never know it to look at the photos, but they were meant to be temporary. The fair was only supposed to be 6 months long. So they built the buildings out of wood and covered them with a plaster-like material and painted them all white. The fair quickly got the nickname the White City. And unfortunately, that winter, almost all the buildings were destroyed by fire. Now, I don't know how much this land was disturbed between the end of the fair and the invention of metal detectors, but can you imagine how many artifacts must have been dropped by the nearly 26 million people who attended? I do know that some of the land is now park, so I'm really curious to know if any of you metal detectorists in the Chicago area are still finding any artifacts from 1893. Don't give up your secret spots, but if you've detected this area and you've got something you know is from the Exposition in 1893, I would be really curious to hear from you. So please do drop a comment. Well, I am probably not going to do much more digging now. I am losing the light, and it's probably time to get home. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you the next time.
Old as dirt.